Welcome back to Movie Trailer Reviews. It's your host, Chris here. I'm not joined by Phenom here because he could not make the screener, but I got my man all the way from the West Coast. I have People's Critic Tim. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? It's always good to be on.
We are here to review War for the Planet of the Apes. I think this is the third film they're doing, and they've done so far in their rebooted Planet of the Apes series. Before we get into all this, I got breaking news that stopped. You guys are going to probably read a post on the site on MTR Network about this before you actually listen to this review, though, because they're so confident in War for the Planet of the Apes. They our screeners are like 3 weeks in advance. So
Yeah,
and
right.
while the embargo's up today, I'm probably not going to release it for another week or two. But I just came across this. It has nothing to do with War for the Planet of the Apes, but I'm really excited about this. There's going to be a Tremors reboot
I saw that.
starring Kevin Bacon on the Sci-Fi. They got a pilot
Uh,
order.
I like it.
I'm so down for this. I'm sorry. I have irrational love.
My only concern is like,
Tremors.
do they have the budget for it? You know
Well,
what I'm saying? That's the if they're gonna put money into it and make the big worms look good, then we're with it. I'm with it.
so here's the
I don't want
thing.
them looking cheesy.
Well, and obviously I've already talked to Drew, and Deepam hasn't seen it yet, but Drew's already 100% in because we talked about Tremors with Drew and Deepam on the Premium Network, but he wants to know if Michael Gross is going to be in it, which I'm like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you gotta have them in there.
gotta have him in there. I mean, he's been carrying that franchise on his back ever since, anyway. So, but you're right with the budget. But if it's going to be in the sci-fi, I'm think they got to because sci-fi has some
Got to.
really expensive and really well done shows. I mean, I love The Expanse. Like that show is. I still haven't finished the last two episodes of the season just because I'm holding on to them because I don't want to watch them and be like, I can't watch the show anymore. Like that show is done well. Like so, and this is Blumhouse TV is doing it, so they're getting Kevin Bacon is going to star in it, and he's also going to I think he's also going to be an executive producer on it. So it looks like they're going to put some money behind it, and it's going to be on there. This is Kevin Bacon saying this is the only character I've ever this is the only character I've played that I ever thought about revisiting. I just got to
Wow,
thinking about where would this guy end up after 25 years.
wow. Yeah, I'm
That,
good. Listen, that could be a good idea.
Yo, listen, I'm all in. I'm fucking in on Tremors. I know that's not what this review is supposed to be about, but I had to share this great news because yes, I'm down for this. And you know what? Here's the thing: most sci-fi TV series, pretty fucking good.
Yeah, they're all usually pretty good. Yeah, you're right about that. They're pretty good. And I didn't realize there were like 5 Tremors movies or
Yeah,
6.
I think there's 5 because I think we've reviewed 5, and 5 is it might still be on Netflix.
Yeah, it's called Trimmer's Bloodline or something crazy. It's got
Yeah.
some crazy name.
Mhm.
It's like the Underworld series at this point.
Yeah, it is. And I again, Premium Network. I think we reviewed it and we talked about it. It is fucking insane.
Which
And
one was the one with the little flying baby trimmers?
I think that one
That one
is
was ridiculous.
that's either 2 or 3.
Oh yeah. That was,
I
think that was
can't
3.
remember.
I think it was-
Man, it gets so fucking ridiculous. I don't give a shit.
and
I'm
there's
all
one that
down.
takes place back in like the Western days.
I think that's 4. I think that's 4, and that's the only one I don't think I've watched. I was like, I'm not doing. I hate that. I'm not doing that. But everything else I've watched, and I'm 100% in on. So anyway, back to what we're here for. We're here to talk about Dem Apes, and I want to start this. This is directed by Matt Reeves and stars most of the people you've seen before. Andy Serkis, obviously, as Caesar. Woody Harrelson as the Colonel. That's all his name is. I want to start with something that, before we even get into this movie, something that I found interesting a couple, because I really hadn't watched trailers or TV spots for this movie because it's a Planet of the Apes movie. I'm already in. I'm already watching this shit. I don't give a shit, right? But I really, like, after I saw the movie, I really paid attention to one of the TV spots that was running, and I realized that the TV spots and trailers, they are completely telling a story that does not happen in the movie.
This is true.
They
I,
make,
I,
like, go ahead.
I was gonna say I hadn't thought about that until you mentioned it, but you're 100% correct. That's not the movie.
It just isn't. Like, there's a couple times, so let me see. Who's played it? Maya Miller is playing the little girl Nova. And in the trailers and in the TV spots, they make it seem like that little human girl is the focus of the movie. There's even parts in there where they have Caesar in the trailer say, I will protect that girl. She's the future, something like that. I can say for a fact that is not said at any point in the movie.
Yo, it's not.
Like,
it's whoa. It's not said. They don't say that.
The entire part of the story, and this is not a spoiler because the story that's being told in the trailer is basically that somehow the apes come across this young human girl and they're protecting her from Woody Harrelson's Colonel, and that somehow the war for the Planet Apes is centered on that young human girl. That is not the story of this movie whatsoever. And honestly, I think that's a good thing because I was actually kind of worried about that. I was like, I don't want them.
Like, how does this fit into the story that we know from,
right,
25, dang near 30 plus years of Planet of the Apes, like,
right? I don't get that. And you find out later on what is important about her and what she represents in terms of what we know of Planet. And I thought that was really smart the way they did it. And I'm like, oh wow, that actually I didn't know we needed that until it started happening, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that actually does need to happen. But yeah, she's not not important to the film.
To the end of the film.
Yeah, the very, very end of the film for something that happens. But outside of that, like, she doesn't have a large role. She's not that important. Like, I would say about this film, and again, I don't think anybody was ever worried about this, but this film is heavily ape-centered.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because it is heavily ape-centered, but because they're so good, it doesn't feel like you're watching a bunch of apes.
And you're exactly.
You're like, there's a moment where they do something ape-like. You're like, oh yeah, right, these are apes. Like, he just jumped up and smashed somebody's head. That's an ape. But when they meet Bad Ape, and that little. It feels like a Survivor movie where you're watching, The Walking Dead or whatever, and you're watching these people trying to survive some apocalypse, and they're hiding out in some abandoned building, just trying to survive, and they're having these conversations about where did you come from, who are you, and you forget you're watching a bunch of apes speaking like broken English.
So, two things I want to say about that. One, and it is beyond time for Andy Serkis' name to be recognized. I don't give a fuck if you got to come up with a new award or something. He should be in the running for Best Actor. The fact that, and I don't know if you saw the little behind the scenes thing they did where they showed parts of how he went about for some of the roles. And he's literally acting to pull this off. Like,
yeah, he was on Graham Norton's show on the BBC. And he was like using the little stilts to like walk around in, like how he walks around like Caesar. And I was like, oh, so you're doing that during the film.
And I made this point in an article I wrote that, when Eddie Redmayne won Best Actor for The Theory of Everything, part of the reason why is like he became Stephen Hawking. Like, there are certain things, like there are certain uncomfortable scenes in that movie where like Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking is like trying to make it up the stairs, and he's literally just because his legs don't work. Literally, like at that point his upper body still did, pulling himself up the stairs using his upper body. Like, he becomes Stephen Hawking. And go ahead.
So that's the thing that makes Andy Serkis so great. He's doing what we praise Jamie Foxx for doing in Ray, or Will Smith for doing in Ali, or whatever these people in these biopics were like, yo, he was that person, and we praise them, and they automatically get in the award circuit. He's doing this regularly,
right?
Like it's nothing.
And for me, I think this is a year where you have to. I mean, look, do I expect him to win? No, but I think you got to put his name in there because, particularly with this movie, like in the first movie, not so much because you had a lot of James Franco and the humans. Even the second movie, you had a little bit of equal weight. This movie is literally a Caesar movie.
Yeah,
he
absolutely
carries this movie. It is about Caesar. This entire movie is about him.
It's about his journey.
It's about his journey. It's about him, and it's an emotional journey. Like, I would say this they have some big action set pieces in it, but I almost feel like, and I know this might not bear out to be technically true, it almost feels like there's less action in this film and more acting among the apes. Like it is just,
sure.
it is incredible. Like there are scenes in here, like there's a scene in here where Caesar's son comes back, and he had been gone away. They've been looking for another home to move to get out of the forest, and he comes back, and there's this emotional scene where Caesar sees his son again for the first time in a long time when his mother's there, and like it's a really emotional scene, and like you said, it's like you're like, oh shit, these are apes.
Yeah,
these are not human. But this is an incredibly emotional movie here.
It's pretty much. I was on my friend John's podcast about to review earlier this week, and I was saying like this is pretty much like a slavery movie.
Oh, it is.
Like it felt like a slavery Holocaust film where you're watching these people go through this plight, and it's this one man's journey to freedom and his people and trying to be strong in the face of diversity. And you got people who feel like they can work for the other side. Like it's all of that in this film about apes. It's kind of crazy.
You literally have apes that are kind of like how black people work for the Confederacy. You literally have apes that are doing that. You have apes that are. I know you've seen in the trailer where you see some apes are working with the humans. Like at one point, I thought that these apes were just like trained by humans to do this. No, you find out this is a conscious choice by some apes to work with humans, and when you hear their reasoning, it is so much like this is real.
Yeah, Caesar's like, man, what did he promise you? Because he's not going to live up to his end of the bargain, man. I don't know what you think is going to happen when this is over, but
right.
They spray painted donkey on your back, man.
Yo, I mean, it is an incredible film about that kind of stuff. I mean, honestly, and I get why they couldn't do it. But if there's one negative I have about any of the Apes film is that black people aren't doing them, and I get why you can't do it. Like I get why you couldn't have black people pretending to be apes. Like in these, I get it. Somebody would be upset, and I think that's right. But the apes are black people. I hate to say it that way, but they are. I mean, they are literally fighting the plight of black people. If all of a sudden white people got a disease and started dying off.
Yeah. And black people were just alive.
And black people were immune to it and kept going. Like, this is literally what's going on. Like, you have these apes. An interesting thing is, you mentioned Steve Zahn plays Bad Ape. There's a new ape they come across, because you got to remember, the apes you've had in this film so far have all been from, I guess, was it San Francisco?
That center they were working on.
Right. So all the apes you've seen in the films up to this point have been from there. They come across another ape that's from another zoo. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting seeing the way they communicate, because you remember, all these other apes can communicate a certain way. And it's a very interesting scene. And like you said, it feels just like any other scene you see in one of these post-apocalyptic worlds where, you come across this drifter who has his own story about living in the apocalypse, and they're sitting around a campfire talking about, how do we get here? Right. And it's just an incredible moment. And you're just like, there's no humans in this scene. Oh, except for a girl who does.
The girl, but she didn't say nothing. She
might
as well just be a lamp.
Right.
She's just chilling.
Right. I mean, it's an incredible. She's literally like the pet. It's just right. It is an incredible film there, and it's just so emotional. And again, if you're basing this off of what happened in the trailers and in the TV spots, you might be caught off guard with how quickly things escalate in this film.
Oh, like immediately?
Yeah. Like,
I was like, oh, we're starting at 10. Okay.
Right. Like,
okay, we're starting at 10 right now.
There's a scene in the TV spots and trailers that I just assumed was that was between Woody Harrelson and Caesar. I assumed was near the end of the movie, and it is not at the end of the movie.
It's not.
It happens way sooner, and I'm like, oh, we're leading with this. So what else is going on? Like, I don't think you really know what's going to happen in this film, and this is one of those times when the misleading trailers and TV spots, I think it was a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think so too. And I love, so, the story is, Caesar is, has some issues with Woody Harrelson's character, and he decides he's going to go after him, and he's going to send the rest of the apes to go to this new land. So they end up trying to find this army base they're supposed to be at. So all they know is it's an army base. They don't know what it's from. They don't know what's happened there. It's just an empty army base. And they get that information from Bad Ape. But when they show up, they realize, things have kind of gone left. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of outmanned and outgunned. But Caesar is on this revenge kick. But part of what I like about Caesar's mentality in this movie is you realize he's a lot more like Cobra than he realized.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's beautiful about this journey is he's a guy who believed in, like, because at the beginning of the movie, he's like, man, just leave us alone. I'm going to let these soldiers go free. He's doing all this stuff like, man, leave us at peace. But he realized that that's not going to work. Like, they're never going to leave us alone. It's not something we get to just do. We got to fight, whether we want to or not.
Well, and I think that's the interesting thing. Like the reason why I think, I think you can avoid the first film that much. I mean, the first film is not bad. I think it's a good opening film for what they've been doing. The interesting thing to me about the reason why this film and the second film work so well is the second film really. Remember what happens in the second film is, Caesar goes against the rule of ape don't hurt another ape.
Yeah,
and he ends up having to. He's trying not to hurt Cobra and kill Cobra. In order to stop what was happening and stop this war, the potential war with the humans, he has to kill Cobra. And what you see in this film is pretty much Caesar, like you said, coming to terms with the idea that he's not just more like Cobra, but that you can't have these rigid rules. He honestly. It's really Caesar becoming more human than he's been. Because, again, think about it. If you have... It's literally how, if you think how humanity started, right? You have these rigid rules, right? Let's go, whether you believe or not, let's use the Bible as the example. Okay? I think that's a good, rigid example of it, right? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not do... Get all these 10 commandments, right? Everything fits in these 10 commandments. But then you find out there's a lot of gray area. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't kill, but what if somebody's trying to kill me first? Can I kill them back? Like, what are the really rules here? What can or can I not do? Things evolve. Can I do that? And so what you're seeing with Caesar and the other apes in this film is him coming to terms with the idea that, you can be as good as you want. You can have these rules, but they're really kind of general principles. And it's okay to... understand that sometimes things have to change, and also that anger and revenge and succumbing to the not being able to get over the pain that somebody has caused you is okay, or maybe not okay, but
it's real.
Is it a real emotion that you can't suppress? Because you see a lot of. And for everything they've gone through, what the apes have gone through in this, because we always talk about what the apes are doing and the humans are losing, but the reality also is that the apes lose a lot too. The apes end up having families and loved ones killed as well, and so the idea of being scared, the idea of wanting just to be left alone, the idea of wanting revenge. These are natural reactions to things. And you see in this film where Caesar kind of gets dirtied up and has to do that. That, if you're going to be a leader, these are sometimes choices you have to make. It's not, it's not all roses, and it's just such an emotional film. Like, this is a super emotional film. It's going to get you choking up a couple times.
Yeah, I choked up with the Apes Are Stronger scene. That got me because I'm and not it's not on some like I'm so in love with animals. I'm not a PETA dude, right? But the journey that the apes have in these three films is so much like the plight of Black Americans in America today. And little stuff in the film like they want the apes to just move on and not grieve and not be upset and not harbor any ill will for whatever the humans do to them. they're supposed to just be cool with it and keep it pushing. And then this idea that like, in order for the humans to live, it's coming at the expense of the apes. Mm-hmm. Even if the apes are leaving them alone, mm-hmm. they don't feel like they're able to live until they're the dominant species, right? And for no reason, the apes are minding their own business. But they feel like, at some point you're gonna come for us, so we got to keep our foot on your neck. And that's much like Black Americans. Like, we just want to live. I don't need a foot on my neck to live. I can let us live in our own communities, handle our own business, and do our own thing. But you show up in our communities, shooting up people and causing strife, and expect us just to be chill with it and have forgiveness 10 days later on the news, and we forgive this thing you did. No. And even when we show compassion, like you see in this movie, it's still met with violence, right? And it's such a reminder to me of what we go through every day in this country, what we've seen on the news recently. Just seeing these images in the film, it didn't trigger me, but it made me emotional because I'm like, man, they captured this so well in the story about apes and humans trying to survive on this planet that's dying. Well, that's us.
Well, yeah, and this is why I go back to, man, like, this is the one time where I'm like, yo, if you made black people apes, I would not have been mad. Like, no. I really would have been mad because it's like, honestly, you might have gotten even more emotion. Like, granted, Andy Serkis, you still got to have Andy Serkis as Caesar. But if you start getting some of these other, like, some other apes played by black people, you might have gotten some, like, can you imagine an ape with a, you might have gotten an ape with a glory tear. I think we did. Like, there's a scene in here with Caesar and his youngest son are separated. Right. And there's a moment there, and there's a couple moments like this between him and his youngest son. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna. Like, they are that powerful and that emotional in there, and it's just incredible. You know, Woody Harrelson's character is again, because while he's the main bad guy, like, the bad guy in this film is actually a little bit beyond him in that it's really kind of it's really about Caesar. It's really Caesar's struggle. Caesar. So it's like Woody Harrelson's character is the bad guy, and some people might be a little upset by how the movie ends and how things go. I think I know. I just think some people might be. Me, I liked it because, again, I think that it shows that, you know, it's not really about the apes, and the thing that's going to destroy Caesar and hurt Caesar is just Caesar himself. And so this is about Caesar's journey and not really, you know, trying to move past the humans. But Woody Harrelson in this movie, he like, you see in the trailer at one point with that, you're so emotional, and I'm just like, yeah. When you find out what Woody Harrelson does, you're like, yeah, dude. You would be emotional too. Like, like he
kills it. That's probably one of my favorite Woody Harrelson roles in a minute. Mm-hmm. Like he's doing his thing. He's kind of it's the dialed back crazy Woody, but he's got the same passion and fire in his performance. And when you hear him tell his story, it makes sense why he's behaving the way he is. It makes 100% like he's. It makes sense.
Yeah. No.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you're like, I get why you did why you're doing what you're doing. I get why you feel like the thing you're doing is right. And I get why he's like, I can't deal with these apes.
Yo, I think, you know what? Is Woody Harrelson, like, underrated?
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm like, every time I see him, I'm looking at the movies and I'm like, okay, even if I don't like the movie, he's good in it. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, Woody Harrelson doesn't get enough credit. I mean, like,
I think we think of him as like a stoner, goofy actor who does good and stuff, but, you know, we're not sure. So let's see. He did this movie. He was good in 999. I didn't even like the movie, but he was good in 999.
Now You See Me. He's always good in Now You See Me. Even though
he was good in Hunger Games movies as Haymitch. Mm-hmm. He was good on True Detective. Mm-hmm. He was good in Out of the Furnaces, that crazy drug dealing dude in the woods.
I heard he was good in Seven Psychopaths. I didn't.
He was good in Seven Psychopaths.
Yo, he's good. He was good
in Rampart. Rampart sucked. He was good. He was great in Zombieland.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's great in Zombieland. Like, yo,
he was funny in Semi-Pro. Wow, yeah. I hadn't considered this.
Oh,
he was good in No Country for Old Men.
I was about to say he was in No Country for Old Men. Like, I'm like,
Dude.
how are people? I mean, like when you see him in a movie, you're like, okay, cool. He's Woody Harrelson. He'll be fine. You don't worry about him. But I'm just like, and like he's gonna be in the Han Solo movie, and we know there's apparently some production problems with that. But like it's Woody Harrelson. I'm not worried about his character. I'm not worried. Whatever he's doing, I'm not worried about that. Like, I think he's underrated.
But if you go all the way back, man, we're talking White Man Can't Jump, A Decent Proposal, Natural Born Killers, Money Train. He got some hits. Kingpin.
Right. Like,
yo, Woody Harrelson got some hits, and I hadn't considered that.
You didn't think about it, but it's like, he's Academy Award what was he nominated for?
Oh, it was the Natural Born Killers?
Let me see. I gotta see.
He's got some hits, and it's not as if he's Woody Harrelson in every movie.
No.
Like, he's got some range to him, but there's something about, even in this film, you'll see it when he has these speeches and these talks, especially with the apes and stuff. Like, he's got this emotion he carries, and even when he's explaining stuff, like when they first, his first interaction with Caesar, it's you don't know how he is, how he got to this space, but you get the idea from his performance that like he's commanding this group and everyone is doing what he says, and he's running things. Like, they don't have to tell you he's running things. They don't even have to show you he's running things. You see the way he's speaking to everyone, you realize that's the man in charge.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about his performance in this film and in other movies as well. Like, he's got that.
Right. He was nominated. It was nominated for Best Actor. He didn't win. He nominated for Best Actor for The People versus Larry Flint.
Oh, that's right. People versus Larry Flint.
Right,
Yeah,
and then
right.
he got a Best Supporting Actor for The Messenger.
Yeah, that too,
So,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got.
He's got like Woody Harrelson's got hits. It's like
He got hits.
you just don't think about it, but when he's in a role, he fucking kills it. He fits the role. He kills it, knocks it out of the park, and it's great.
He's kind of really the only human that has a lot of lines.
Absolutely, yeah. There's only other human in here is a human that it kind of reaffirms to Caesar that told you these humans ain't shit, right?
That's the other thing. That's the other thing that reminded me of us Black Americans is that moment where you're like,
come on, man.
You still gonna do us like this?
It was really one of those come on, man moments.
Like, I showed you grace in the face of like I could have killed you and I didn't, and this is how you do me.
You know the thing I love about that is
how you do me,
you know what I love about that moment? Woody Harrelson like earlier in the film even tells he's just like, yeah, you're gonna hate the fact that you left this motherfucker. Yeah. He told him, was like, yeah, you're not gonna feel good about that.
Yeah. Like, you don't think he's racist, but he is.
Right. It really was one of those things. Like, listen, I'm one of the good racists. I'll tell you up front, I don't like your monkey ass. But him,
he gonna smile in your face and thank you for helping out.
Oh my God, he's a white liberal. Oh, that's what it was. Woody Harrelson, basically the conservatives.
You should have voted for Bernie, is what he's telling right before you. Right before that scene.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, there's great. There's something else I was gonna say about this. Oh yeah, this really, and again, these films have always been kind of slave movies. There's even down to a Kunta Kinte moment here. Kunta Kinte moment. It really, and I'm like, and I'm watching this going, are they going to make Caesar say another name? Like, what is going? Like, it is. There are just some moments in here that are just great, but then also, the storyline involving Nova, the young girl here. The bad ape. That's really his name.
Bad ape is hilarious.
Yeah, I love. It's a different ape. It's a different ape. A different type of ape that you've seen before. Who's basically been living on his own, and without a community. And
he's the audience. He's always like, "No, that's a bad idea, guys."
Right.
No, I don't want to do that.
He literally has some of the funniest moments in the film. Cause he's just like, no, we shouldn't do that. Hey, come on, we're gonna break into this place and do this. He's like, no, that's a bad idea. Not gonna do that. Nope. Oh, you guys are gonna do that? Okay, no.
Like I said, I cracked up when he came out with that little vest on, like D-Ray, and the little beanie. I was like, yo,
he really did, yo. He really did. And the other ape, I love that the other ape looked at him like, is this nigga serious? Like,
what are you doing? Why are you dressed?
you,
Why do you have clothes
why do you
on?
have clothes on? What is wrong with you? Like, he had a hat, he had a vest on, yo. Just,
Yeah.
oh man, it's so good. Like, this is a really, really great film. Are they gonna do another film?
Man, it's funny. I don't know. I mean, I'm cool if they like the way they ended it. It could end and be done with the trilogy. For a fourth, I don't know what story they tell unless we're actually remaking, a classic film.
So the only thing I could do, the only way I could see them going forward with this is if they make it come full circle, right? So what we basically had in these first three films, and I'm with you. I actually think I'm actually okay if they end it here. If they say fuck it, we're done. This is what the story we want to tell. We're not gonna bring it around full circle again. The only way I can do it is they make it come full circle and they kind of show that the apes have become what the humans were before.
Yep. They create a civilization.
Right.
They pretty much are doing what the humans were doing to the apes.
Right. I mean, and again, that's the story of Planet Apes anyway. But I would want them to kind of change the ending so that the apes realize that and stop. Because I don't, because the humans were so bad before. Like, I get why they...
And also, you have to have a different ending because the ending in the original film, you don't realize that they're on Earth. They think they've landed on some planet. An ape planet that's similar to Earth. It's not until, Charlton Heston's on the beach and he sees the Statue of Liberty that he realizes, like, I've been on Earth this whole time. And so that's gone. As an audience, we know that.
Right.
So you have to change the ending to something else.
And remember, in the first film, I believe there is a spaceship out there.
Yeah. It's they show the newspaper on the doorstep, and it talks about, like, they lost contact with them somewhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could do a fourth film. I just feel like, to me, I would want them to hold off on doing it until they have the perfect script for it. Because, to me, these three films work so well together. Because they show you how you got to the part where, when you see Planet of the Apes, particularly if obviously, Planet of the Apes to me was different for black people than for white people, I think. Just because you see the play, and we're like, finally, these white people getting treated the way we got treated. Yes, so
that's what it's like,
right? So you're like, you have that feeling, and you're like, fuck them, I don't. In this respect, I have way more. I think as a whole, everybody has way more sympathy now for the apes than they did when you just saw Planet of the Apes first time. Right? Mm-hmm. See, because like you see everything that the humans put them through, and you're like, oh no, the humans should always like. You can't have somebody land and be the Charlton Heston or Mark Wahlberg of the film and think, oh yeah, I have sympathy for that person. Like, you can't go through three films where most of the humans are you have no sympathy for, and then have a fourth film where it's just Planet of the Apes, and you're like, well, now let's feel sorry for the humans. Like, that's just not going to work for the audience of these films. So I don't know how you do a fourth.
Yeah, I think coming full circle to seeing the apes turn would be it, because to me that's going back to like feeling like I'm watching our lives on screen sometimes. It's this idea that, like, you ever hear this? You see it because you cover it on your show, right? People want a race war and they're preparing. It's like, that ain't us. I don't want a race war. I just want to be left alone. I don't need a war with you. Like, this idea that, like, at some point, because we've been beat down so much, that we're gonna fight back. Because if that was me, I'd want to fight back. Mm-hmm. So to see the flip of that and see, like, all right, this war did happen and we're coming on top, and yet we're doing the same thing our oppressors did to us, would be good to see, because I think there's some truth in that. And maybe you start to take on some of those ugly things that you say you hated so much. It's like when you become your parents and you take on some of the bad stuff your parents do.
And now the thing about it, when the other key thing about Planet of the Apes was there were apes that were like, hey, this is not what Caesar wanted. So you'll have Cornelius, you'll have Maurice, you'll have apes that are there that are like, no, you guys are going way too you guys are becoming more like Cobra. Like, that could be the thing, right? Where you literally have apes like Maurice and Cornelius and other apes are going like, hey, listen, we want to be more like, we want to live in harmony with the humans. That's our goal at the end of the day. You guys are becoming what we didn't want to become. You guys are becoming the oppressors now, and you turn it that way. I think you can make
Right.
it, but that's a very nuanced and it like you have to be very very careful with that screenplay because again, when you look at the last time they did a Planet of the Apes movie, it didn't work.
Yeah, the Mark Wahlberg specialty
Yeah,
he had.
that Mark Wahlberg movie didn't work. So it's like you have to be very very careful, particularly after you've done these three movies that have done such a great job of being honestly having nuanced race discussions, and sadly enough, because white people don't listen to black people, you got to do it in terms of animals for them to listen. Yeah, I like I said, you have to, that has to be a really really good screenplay to do it for a film. But for this film, man, like it's emotional. Like there are some moments here where you literally just forget you're looking at apes, man. It's just
I think that the series is gonna be one of those film series that they teach classes on or they cover in the class to cover some of the racial and social issues that we face today and seeing them spelled out in the film and sort of deconstruct what we're seeing in our news today and what we're seeing on the screen and how they mirror each other. Like I'm reading this book right now. It's called Philosophy and Superman, and it's got a lot of really cool ideas in it. And it's from the viewpoint of like Superman being an immigrant and like ideas like why do we assume Superman's American? Like why do we place this label of him being an American citizen? And stuff like this whole section on equality, the whole section on privilege. Like so you can take these things that we love and this pop culture stuff and break it down and say, okay, well, what does that look like in the real world, and how are we applying these things? Because these ideas come from someplace. Because we think about the first Planet of the Apes movie, like it was made during a very political time in our country,
right.
and so a lot of that stuff bleeds into the film. And I remember some documentary I watched about it, and they were saying they wanted to make a political movie, but they knew people wouldn't watch it, so they made a movie about apes.
Yeah,
but it's got all the stuff in it. It's just about apes. So people go on and they feed it. It's like sticking the medicine, in the donut. So people eat it because they think it's popcorn, fun stuff. But there's medicine in it, and hopefully you walk away with something. And I'm hoping people watch this movie and they walk away with something to think about their day to day, because it's there for you if you want it.
Yeah,
it's all there if you want it. Or you can just walk away and say, what a cool movie, and I love Andy Serkis, and Woody Harrelson's great. Or you can walk away and say, man, we really do treat people like shit, and we should probably think about how we treat them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, folks. Well, there you guys have it. Oh, wait. We didn't give
a rating.
Yeah, we're rating out of 10. What would you give this film out of 10, man?
I guess like a 9, an easy 9 out of me.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like I said, it's got everything you want. If you like the other films, you're gonna love this film. It's great, and you're gonna want to check it out. And like I said, I think it's way more emotional. Again, there's some great set pieces in here.
It's way more emotional.
And there are.
There's action. I hope you guys don't hear us wrong.
Yeah.
Like, there's action in the film. Like, it's not boring. It's not like a bunch of talking. This isn't Schindler's List.
Right.
Like, there's action in the film.
Yeah.
But it's the emotion stuff that I didn't expect to get. That's like this heavy.
Yeah. Like I said, it again. I guess technology has just made it so that you can have this film and it can be, it can look so well that these apes have human expressions and human face. Like I said, give Andy Serkis a fucking
man,
just a nomination,
just give him an award. Just call him up, say, hey, we got an award. We're gonna celebrate the work of Andy Serkis. You don't gotta just give him something. Because
I mean, the amount of work he goes into putting into this stuff is just fucking incredible, man.
And little stuff like we hear the same things, right? Which is like he's on set somewhere helping somebody with motion capture. Like he's doing the work out here.
Yeah. And
then he gets to take on Black Panther in February, so we get to see him be a bad guy. So I'm all in on him. He's one of the white people in Black Panther, so he's got a pass for me.
Right. Although no, he seems like he's gonna be kind of racist. So.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna drop the N-word. Question for you: I've been asking this question to people about the movie, and I want to know what you think. What is the Stan Lee cameo gonna look like in Black Panther?
Oh man, he's got to be.
He can't be in blackface.
I know what it is. He looks like he's because there's at one point they're like at a casino or something like that, and there are white people around. It's got to be one of the people at the casino. Like that's what it's got. He's got to be one of those.
Okay.
So, all right, man. Well, Tim, thank you very much. Where can people find you at, man, so you can get your stuff?
They can find me at thepeoplescriticblog.com. They can find me on Twitter, The People's Critic, Snapchat, Instagram. I'm in there, People's Critic. Hit me up. Got a lot of summer movies to cover. I got an interview coming up with David Lowery from that movie A Ghost Story, and he also did what's that movie? Some other crazy movie he did before. But yeah, he's great. Oh, he did Pete's Dragon. He directed Pete's Dragon as well.
Huh.
Yeah, he's a great dude. So that's coming up, and then a bunch of other stuff coming up. So yeah, busy summer.
Awesome. Well, again, you guys can get all our stuff at mtrnetwork.net. Search for this, all of our reviews, stuff like that, on movie trailer reviews on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music. Get it all there. And yeah, folks, check this movie out. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.